What's up guys, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, staying healthy in troubling times. Interesting video coming up. I'm gonna discuss Kazuya and Devil Jin, father and, well, sort of demonic son. Who's the strongest, really? After many nerfs to Devil Jin, buffs to Kazuya. When this game was released, Devil Jin was leagues above Kazuya, but they've narrowed the gap with every season, especially Season 2 did a lot for Kazuya. Season 3 saw Devil Jin lose upward 4 into back 4. A lot of stuff has happened. Who exactly is the strongest character? I'm gonna do a detailed analysis and explanation as to why I personally believe, and this is subjective, that Devil Jin is still stronger than Kazuya. So I hope you will find this interesting. Make up your own mind. It's really subjective. It's very close these days. And I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. I'm going to go through a lot of moves, but don't expect me to go through every detail regarding every move. It's going to take too much time. I'm just going to very quickly go through all of this. I'm just going to start by saying that close quarters means a lot in this game, and this is due to the limited and restricted movement of Tekken 7. It's not like Tag 2 where you could move that much more and quickly. So close quarters means a lot. So I'm gonna start with that. If you look at competitive play, the characters that do well are those that do really well up close. And Devil Jin really outshines Kazuya here with a stronger jab. Yes, it has more range. If you look at the distance here, Devil Jin's can hit at up to 2.19, as you saw. Kazuya's will stop connecting after 2.15. Well, that sounds like a tiny difference. That means a hell of a lot in competitive play. And jab is arguably the most important tool you have. The key to your... Honestly, it starts most of your offense, most of the time. Devil Jin has a down forward 1. Kazuya does not have a universal down forward 1. He also has a follow-up. It's +8 on normal hit, -3 on block. You can delay the follow-up. And then combine that with the laser cannon, and damn, you have a complete package already for your aggression. This locks people down. This locks down spacing. You can't step that. So in terms of space control and checking the opponent up close, there really is no comparison here. And add to that also close quarters combat, throws. Devil Jin has a 1 break, 2 break, 1+2 break. A really nice 1+2 break in the, the legendary laser throw, which you can buffer from attacks. 45 damage. Kazuya only has 2 1+2 breaks. There really is no comparison up close. We're gonna look at Kazuya very soon. Down back 2, instant high crush. Very good tool to have. Down for 2. I messed up my electric. Got down for 2, no problem. Long range counter hit launching mid, 15 frames. -7 on block. This move is very underrated. Very underrated. Devil Jin's defensive options. We have a pseudo power crush parry. We have down back 2 for instant high crush and frames. It's +3 on hit. Thank you very much. We have up 4. Don't underestimate this move. You might think it only applies to beginner and intermediate play, but when I asked JDCR who's the easiest Mishima, he said that, well, Devil Jin, just due to this move. Because it's like the Hell Sweep, you don't even have to use it for it to be effective. Because all the opponent has to do is just know that it's there, and he will be hesitant in trying to poke you down and be too aggressive when you're low on health. Just because this can come at any time, and it's so awkward to punish. Does he stay up, flying, or does he drop to the ground? For a lot of characters, that makes it so awkward to punish. And then we have back 3, which is launch punishable, but still, it's a novelty thing. And then in terms of damage, a lot of Kazuya... a lot of people feel it's Kazuya these days due to the triple electric combo. But Devil Jin is actually still the heavy hitter, if you can do the big boy combo. Sorry. There's a big lack of warm-up here. And it's mostly due to this back 2-1 here. 104 damage. That wall combo does 30 damage alone. And even without that wall, Devil Jin checks out at... Sorry. 74 damage, I think? Yeah, 75 with the wall. The wall does 1 damage, the wall hit there. So, Devil Jin, if you know what you're doing, he does a shitload of damage. If you do Kazuya's triple electric back to 1 hell sweep, And then big wall ender while standing 4, down for 1-4, 1+2. I think he gets like 94, 95. So there still is a big difference, and it's mostly due to this. This wall ender is crazy. And if you know how to use it, it's quite consistent. Whereas Kazuya's big boy, while standing 4, down for 1-4, 1+2, it's very axis sensitive and drops a lot on certain characters. So Devil Jin outshines Kazuya actually in terms of damage. And this is the most noticeable when we're doing the hell sweep, where if there's a wall, and that goes for most of the stages in this game, Devil Jin gets a ridiculous amount of damage, and then Oki. So the difference here is quite enormous. I see a lot of people say that Kazuya's hell sweep is pretty much just as good as Devil Jin's, considering the Oki he gets, but it's like Devil Jin can opt to go for Oki, like this. 33 damage and then sets up great Oki. There really is no comparison in terms of hell sweep. And again, Devil Jin's damage due to this move is ridiculously high these days. So honestly, he is the king of damage. And then punishment, a lot of people think Kazuya is better, he has twin pistons. And again, it's just not that simple. Again, longer range jab with Devil Jin, so this obviously also translates to a more consistent 10-frame punish. The all-important flash punch that sets up 50-50. More consistent with Devil Jin. 12-frame punish, Kazuya has 1+2, no range, back 1-2, again an 11-frame. But most of the time we want that consistent 12-frame, because mostly we see a -12 universal punish. Devil Jin's, I'll take this any day over Kazuya's back 1-2. This has so much range, it's so consistent. And it has a little mix-up here, which is interesting. Such a good move. And then for 15-frame, when we want to launch, both of these guys can electric. Kazuya's is 1 frame faster. But we have an easy mode can, down 3+4. You'll see Ni and cooldowns resort to this in tournaments when someone's -15. Not go with electric, I can drop that. I'll do the easy mode can. And Kazuya just doesn't have anything here to do an easy mode launch. You can do down for 1-2 into forward 4 for 50-ish damage into Oki, which is pretty nice. But if you want to launch, you're going to have to electric. And that's hard. That's not easy. So the standing punishment, in my opinion, goes to Devil Jin. And then crouching, they both share while standing 4. At 13 frame, Kazuya can twin piston with limited range. Devil Jin gets while standing 1-4 for pretty big 35 damage and wall splat knockdown. Sets up Oki, obviously. But this has long range, so it's very consistent. -13 moves with pushback. This will clip them pretty much all the time, whereas Kazuya can miss with the twin pistons. But still, Kazuya gets that, he launches. And then 15 frame, you want to launch. Devil Jin while standing 2. Kazuya still has to twin piston, but at 16 frame, he gets while standing 2, where he can bound. Remember that while standing 2 does not allow you to bound. But it's not like you have to, considering the wall stuff just makes up for it in terms of damage. So honestly, in terms of... Oh, and with punish, 4-3-4, super consistent, into a nice knockdown. Kazuya has to do forward 4-2, which you can drop in clutch moments. It's harder than you think to input forward quickly. And with punish, obviously electric, they share that. And then Devil Jin has sidestep 2, which is risky, but if you use it properly, has enormous damage. Yes. So honestly, if you want to be very simple-minded, you can say Kazuya, stronger punishment. But I think Devil Jin honestly is better. To be honest, I think it's at least subjective. You can argue both sides. And in terms of being a threat from far away, Devil Jin has his game plan that goes back, you know, to tag 1, mixing electrics with the Demon Paw, which still remains just so effective at long range. And then just applying his 50-50. So let me switch to Kazuya, who of course is one hell of a character these days. He's the strongest. He's been in a long time, but I still feel like he just can't outshine Devil Jin. We started by talking about close quarters, and it's like, yeah, the jab certainly is weaker. You'll notice straight away if you play Devil Jin for a while how much more inconsistent Kazuya's jab is. Devil Jin's jab would connect here. And that obviously hurts your 10-frame punish. And then in terms of poking, down forward 4, I lose my turn. Back 2, I lose my turn. Down forward 1, I lose my turn. Well, that's the name of the game with Kazuya. And again, slow on startup. I don't have a 13-frame check other than down forward 4, where I'm -9. Or I can do this, try and be cute, and put myself in -15. Oh, down forward 2, great 14-frame counter hit launcher, -12. You have to do while standing 4 basically, which you share with Devil Jin. He can also do that. And this puts huge execution requirements on you, as you have to crouch dash cancel into it. But that's a good poke, but Devil Jin has that. It's worth mentioning the underrated Magic 4, 12 frames. Very, very bad range. And if this is blocked, you lose your turn at -9. It's worth mentioning though, comes out at 12 frames. And of course, I only have 1+2 breaks, so up close, there really is no comparison between these characters. Kazuya gets access to all of his great moves at 20 frames plus. And I'm gonna talk more about this in a second. So in terms of damage, Devil Jin outshines him. But if you have execution with Kazuya, you can get pretty high. Again, this is quite an inconsistent ender. 97 damage. But if you remember with Devil Jin, I got 104. You can do 106 quite easily with Devil Jin. So Kazuya is outshun. Well, what's the verb here in terms of damage? But Kazuya still does great damage. Don't get me wrong. And his 50-50, I would say, is better than Devil Jin's. This is a great strength with Kazuya. You know, forward 3 launches, Hell Sweep sets up disgusting Oki. And the Oki is better than Devil Jin's. Forward 4, it's so consistent on the ground compared to Devil Jin's, you know, back 4. So the Vortex certainly is here. You know, Kazuya has a great Vortex. No one is gonna deny that. And forward 3 allows you to bound. Really nice. Can get a lot of damage here. But both of these options are steppable towards the left. If the opponent steps towards their left shoulder, they dodge both of those. Whereas with Devil Jin, his Hell Sweep tracks towards his left shoulder, and his While Standing 2, which is the mid-launching option, tracks towards his right shoulder. So with Devil Jin, it's actually his basic 50-50 is actually a 50-50 in will he do a mid or a low, but it's also a 50-50 in is he gonna track to the left or right? Whereas Kazuya's is more simplified. You just step towards the left. But this is where a good Kazuya player obviously counters with homing moves. Back 4, While Standing 3 is great. It's a little bit slow, but it's a really good, safe, mid, knockdown homing move at wall splats. It's really nice to have. Eesh. And of course, the Boa Love classic, Waivu, While Standing 2. Which is obviously a launch. This is awesome, right? And it has a lot of range. Big damage as you get the bound. Mix that with the Hell Sweep. Oh, that's awesome. But honestly, that's not very good in high-level play. I mean, Boa gets it to work, but it's like this theme with the character. When is that really going to be consistent for you? If you really think about it, is this really in Kazuya's favor? Like, yeah, if this hits, you get a launch. If a Hell Sweep hits, oh, you get 33 damage and Oki. But the thing is, if a Hell Sweep is blocked, you get launched. If a While Standing 2 is blocked, you get launched. Is that really a viable competitive strat? Like, where it's like, hey, if I get the read, I get, you know, I get to launch him, or I get 33 damage. But if he gets a read on me, no matter what, the option of both of these options, I get launched. That's just not the type of character that's going to do well in competitive play. And that's really Kazuya, the character. He has great strengths, but man, does he take risks? So again, 50-50 is nice. And again, the 50-50 takes 20 frames to get going. 20 frames. And this is where Kazuya has all of his great stuff. It's at the 20 frame range. It's the 50-50, it's forward 4, oh, great frames if this connects. No matter what, great frames. Damage 4, great frames. You can set up a lot of traps with these moves. Sidestep 3, oh, great move. Natural launcher, safe on block. Natural launcher, safe on block. I mean, forward 3 is even -3 on block. That's great. Damage 2, oof, knocks down into forward 4. Safe on block. But I lose my turn. But again, comes out at 20 frames. And with all of these moves, Kazuya has no high crushing. He keeps his back straight. So again, these moves are godlike if you have incredible timing and execution. And you know how to place them. Oh, you can get great things going with Kazuya. But when you're playing against these top tier characters, you know, or god tier, where they have incredible magic 4s, Steve back 1, these strong highs, like, you're going to have to be so ridiculously on point with your timing. You're basically an AI, because all of these moves, it's just so risky. Yes, when they do connect on block or on hit, they're great, but you leave yourself so open with these tools. And again, I mentioned his Oki is amazing. The Vortex and the Oki, great. Oh, rage options. Kazuya's rage drive is much better than Devil Jin's in my opinion, and so versatile. It has so many uses, and my god, does it give him crazy comeback potential. Just getting a launch off when you're in rage and you're like, ah ha ha ha, boom, take it, blam, and then Oki. Devil is great when you do get access to him. My god, does he have disgusting tools. This character here. He has great stuff. Completely busted. But the problem is, realistically, how often do you have access to Devil? Very seldom. Very, very seldom. And then punishment depends on your perspective, but you can argue he has better than Devil Jin, but honestly, he's just nowhere near as consistent, considering the jab range, back 1 range, 1+2 range. You have to electric to launch at 15. You can down forward 1-2, but that's nowhere near as strong. His electric is 1 frame faster. That's a big deal. I should have mentioned that straight away. This is Kazuya's great strength. With the buffs in Season 3, it now, you know, electric tracks like crazy, recovers very quickly even on whiff. Kazuya having the easiest electric in terms of execution, and this only applies to a standing electric. And 1 frame faster, it's a really big deal. But again, this only applies to a standing electric. As soon as you dash into electrics, it's the exact same as Devil Jin and Heihachi's. So offensive electrics going forward, that's not where you are, you know, in an advantage. It's when you're doing the standing electrics versus Devil Jin and Heihachi, you will see about 1 frame of difference and the execution difference. But that's a big deal. Electrics are very strong these days. So this is a big plus for Kazuya, definitely. And then punishment, being able to launch at 13, you know, while standing, that's incredible. Again, range problems, but that's still incredible. And obviously he gets to bound from there. Oh, I dropped it. Kazuya Pro. Yeah, it's big damage. That's really good. But again, inconsistent, you know, range problems. And doesn't have a 15, but has a dedicated 16 that does a lot of damage. And, you know, long range punish. Forward 4-2 is not as good as Devil Jin's forward 3+4, in my opinion. Knocks them further away. It's harder to do. Electric, great whiff punish. In terms of homing, I feel that, you know, Devil Jin up close has the laser cannon. He has forward 4-4, which is a high that's +5 on block. It is ridiculously good at the wall. Does a lot of damage. Kazuya homing is good while standing 3. Back 4 is a counter hit launcher. Down for 2 while standing 2. But all of those moves have problems to them. But overall, they are really good. And of course, electric tracks so much these days. And honestly, that's it to Kazuya's strengths. It is worth mentioning this move when we discussed High Crush before with Devil Jin. You have down back 3, but that's -1 on hit, -12 on block. For High Crushing, down 1 + 2 is worth mentioning as well, but this is -14 on block, and it's slow at 25 frames. But that certainly helps, you know, going up against the Magic 4 characters, these moves. And Ni always puts this move to great use, especially against Arslan at Evo. You know, jab checking by Kazumi or Steve, you know, this is good. Guarantees forward, forward, 4. But it is -12 on block, so again, it is risky. But it does have a lot of evasion and crushing. But yeah, that's it to Kazuya's strengths, you know. He has big damage, he has the best electric, his rage options are great, his vortex is amazing if you know how to use it and how to counter people who step you. His Oki is better than Devil Jin's in my opinion. The punishment, you can argue, is better than Devil Jin's. When he is allowed to swing for 20 frames, he has incredible moves. There's no denying it. The moves are great. But the problems with poking, the inconsistency in his moveset, the large amount of risks he takes, lack of defensive options, you know, but just poking, close quarters, lack of throw game. Kazuya, if you have incredible execution and very good reads, you know, you have a great mindset, you're almost like a professional boxer in my opinion. Your timing is so strong. You can get great things to happen with this character. You can look godlike in the right hands. But is he overall as consistent and strong and versatile as Devil Jin? No way. He lacks the consistency and safety. So I tried to keep it as brief as possible. I hope it is a good deconstruction of these characters and that you get my point of view. And again, I want to stress that this is my opinion and point of view. Feel free to disagree. They are very close to each other. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you have a lovely day. Take care.